What's up, everybody? Real quick, before we get into today's episode with Matt Ortlieb, I have to tell you about the fact that this is the last week for you to apply for the Creativ Rise Mastermind. We're closing applications on Sunday. We're getting started on February 12th. You do not want to miss this round. If this year is the year you want to make six figures in your business for the first time, or you want to make your next six figures, then Creativ Rise Mastermind is the best place, honestly, to do that because of the crazy education, crazy support, crazy community, crazy accountability. We are so excited. So many spots are already gone. We're just taking the last round of applications to see who's going to get the last couple of spots. So if you're wanting that to be you want to make 2023 the best year yet for your creative business, you got to go to creativrise.com and apply, and we cannot wait to see your application. So it's going to be so cool. Now, other than that, we got today's guest, Matt Ortlieb, on the podcast today. He is a brand photographer from Canada. Now, he's doing some really cool stuff, and the reason why he's doing some really cool stuff is because he's picking to work in an industry, a part of the industry that is actually pretty untapped. Like, wouldn't you say
absolutely.
brand photography is pretty untapped in this spot? So everyone thinks brand photography, they think massive corporations. Matt is working with personal brands, right?
Yeah.
Which is really cool. So today, in today's episode, we talk about some of the ins and outs of how he's working with personal brands, how he went from making $15K in 2021 to making $15K in January of 2023. He's literally made his entire year's income when he first started his business in the first month of 2023.
Wow.
He made 85 grand last year, so he quadrupled his income from 2021. It's an epic story, eh?
It's so good. You guys are going to love me. So humble, so kind. Here's Matt.
What's up, Matt? Welcome to the show, man. You are another Creativ Rise graduate, officially getting a spot on the Creativ Rise podcast, which is so fun. So welcome to the show, dude.
Thank you. I'm super excited for this.
Yeah, heck yeah. So
It's going to be fun.
rapid fire.
Yes.
Matt, you're a listener to the show, so you obviously know some of the rapid fire questions here, but we're going to pop them off on you. So first rapid fire question, where are you from?
Kitchener, Ontario, Canada.
Kitchener, baby.
Love
KW.
it. And then
I'm sure there's
Yeah.
some more people from KW area that listen to the show, because
the
I feel like
KW area.
yeah, Kitchener
wow.
Waterloo. That's what it's called. If you're, it's a little, it's a little bit of lingo there.
Yeah.
Fun
Love
fact: I grew up in Guelph, so not far
Okay.
from KW, and I used to love going to. Was it Pro Hockey Life in Kitchener, or was that in Waterloo? Whatever it was, that was like the
That's
big
Kitchener.
trip. I was like the
Yeah.
big trip. It was like, oh my gosh, I can go to Pro Hockey Life and like try on, shoot some sticks and stuff. So it's a
Mhm.
hockey thing. But
That is a Canadian hockey thing
yeah,
right now.
totally.
It is, yeah.
Totally. I'm killing
my-
the rapid.
I
I'm
know.
killing
I
the
was gonna say
rapid
this,
part of
you,
rapid
and
fire.
Matt, you know this happens every time. It's not very rapid. But the second question is, what is your creative business?
Brand photographer, videographer. Dabbled in some grad photo shoots, a few weddings, but for the main part, it's brand photographer and social media kind of manager for a few companies.
Love
Love
it.
it. So when you say brand photographer, just to go a little bit more descriptive, you're basically a personal branding photographer, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. I love that. Okay, cool.
Such a good
So here's
industry.
the next rapid fire question. How long have you been in the creative industry for? When did you start?
I mean, I got my first camera in 2019, and then for a good year and a half, 2 years, it was kind of just a hobby. And then I guess in the beginning of 2021, I want to say, that's when I kind of put more effort into it. When the whole kind of COVID thing happened, that's when I kind of dove deep into everything.
A COVID business.
Gotcha.
I feel like so many people have that exact
So
same story.
many.
They're like, COVID
Yes.
business, it happened, and now it's my full-time thing. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, and then the signature question that we absolutely love to ask everybody is, what has been, Matt, like a flop you've had in your business, or a time when you just had a fail, or an embarrassing moment, just something to humanize you to the audience to go, okay, like this guy also has maybe had a flop once or twice.
Sure. Yeah. I feel like a good flop was I tried taking on a client for Facebook ads and kind of controlling all their ad spend and management on Facebook side. And like 1 month in, it was just a complete flop. Like I didn't exactly know what I was doing. I was kind of just rolling with it, fresh out of school. And then it kind of just fizzled out from there. And yeah,
Yeah.
Gotcha. Now,
yeah.
was that before you were in the mastermind? Was that before we met you?
way before. Yeah.
Way before.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
I think this was January. No, it was November, December of 2021.
2020.
I wanna
Okay,
say.
cool.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Honestly, though, you gotta love the confidence, right? It's like, let me land the job and then learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And then
You know
it
what?
just
Happened.
flops.
Yeah.
I've had that exact same thing happen to me. I took on some stuff like that early on when I was in high school, and basically the same thing happened. It was like
Hmm.
I just had no idea what I was doing, and it was like
Yeah.
whatever. But anyways, but what's cool about that is that that story shows that you are a problem solver. Shows
Yeah.
that you are going, hey, I see a problem. Let me see if I can fix the problem. Whether we fix it or not, that mindset is such a healthy mindset to have as an entrepreneur. And I know
Yeah.
that mindset is really, really helped you. So let's talk about your business, Matt, because we met you when you first joined the Creativ Rise Mastermind, and you had a newer business, a almost brand new business, and you had
Hmm.
some aspirational goals. If I can just recite one of your goals, I remember when we first met you, we were asking you what a goal of yours would be in the mastermind. You're like, dude, if I could make 10K in 1 month, that'd be epic. Talk to us about where your business was before, just quickly, you came into the mastermind, and where it went to after the mastermind. Talk about that
Yeah.
transformation, and then we're going to talk all about the story of how you did it.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess I ended 2021 off with like 15,000 revenue while I was still working a full-time job and as like a social media specialist for a company. And then actually when I had that client that flopped, before that flopped, I was like going all in on this business. So I went full time around that same time period. That flopped. And then I kind of came across Creativ Rise in the community, which kind of sparked a lot of motivation and that what's the word? Just that creativity. And then 2022 kind of ended the year with 85,000 in revenue. So kind of 4 times my business, I think
Wow.
it
Just
was.
kind of
Just kind of.
forex in my business.
Casual.
So you did in 2021, you did 15K. Then we
Yeah.
met you. You went through the mastermind, and you ended up doing 85 grand last year in revenue. And did you also hit your 10K month? Because I know that was your big goal.
Yeah, in October was the first time I hit. It was 13K
13K.
Nice.
in
Beautiful.
October. Yeah,
That's
and
amazing.
it was like a moment where at the end of the month there was like I didn't know exactly where I was standing, and I just opened my bank account one day and was like, oh damn, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
sweet.
that's a little bit more than I maybe thought I made this
Yeah.
month.
Yeah,
Those are always cool moments,
That's
those
more
are
than what I made in a
milestones.
year.
Yeah, those are milestones, if you think about it, you making 13K in 1 month was almost the exact same as your entire year's revenue from the year
Yeah.
before. That's incredible, right?
Mhm.
To go
Yep.
from making 15K for the whole year to making 13K in a month and doing 85 grand in a whole year. So epic. So let's talk about your business, Matt, because you're in such a cool niche that you know it because we've talked about this a lot with you as we helped you build some of these offers when you're in the mastermind. We are huge fans of the personal branding space because so many people are building brands online right now. There's a lot of
Yeah.
opportunity to match them with creative so they can continue to grow their businesses, grow their followings, do all that stuff, and you can get paid really well for it. So
Hmm.
talk to us about what you're offering people and talk to us about what works about that. Why are you
Yeah.
able to get paid helping people take photos of themselves practically to fill their social calendars? How does that work? Talk to us about that. Why is it
Yeah,
such a good offer?
I feel like majority of what I do most is kind of helping individuals, whether they have an online business or it's kind of if they're an agent or something, and they're trying to grow on Instagram or Facebook or whatever platform they're on. And even I know for myself, like it takes a lot of time and effort to stay consistent and actually put out good content. Um, and so that's kind of one thing that I kind of wanted to tap into, especially with agents and online trainers and kind of people in that industry, just helping them with content and staying consistent and kind of helping them navigate through what they should be posting, what they should kind of avoid, and kind of helping them down that direction.
Yeah, epic. That's so good. So most people think about, okay, if I'm going to be a creative, I'm either going to shoot weddings professionally or I'm going to shoot brands. And when they think brands, they think like big box brands, right?
Right, like
That's what so many
product.
people think, like big product
Hmm.
brands and stuff. You're a brand photographer, but that's not really like what you're specializing in. So talk to me with your average client. Like when you talk about the personal trainers and or the real estate agents, like who are these people? Where are you finding them? Let's talk about where you're finding them. Then I got another question after that.
Sure. I feel like a lot of it is word of mouth, which is I love. And then I guess the second kind of biggest way is just through my own Instagram and reaching out to a few new people. And that kind of, but the biggest one is just kind of word of mouth and just letting that spread.
Yeah,
Love
totally.
it.
Awesome. So when you do reach out to people, how are you reaching out to them?
I use the template from Creativ Rise.
Yes.
Shameless plug
So
by
good.
Matt.
So good. So talk to me about what that template has helped you do. Like, how do you use the template? What's maybe one or two things in the template that you think helps them actually respond to it? Like, why does that template help you? What's in it?
I feel like it's just a good offer, and it kind of keeps them thinking of what they're missing out on.
Yeah.
I know when I wasn't kind of following a good like guideline of templates or whatever, I had no idea what to say and how to pitch these people.
Yeah.
And then just having a strong message and strong brand that kind of supports that,
Mm.
definitely help convert more kind of replies and responses too,
Yeah. I
of
love
just
Yeah.
getting the conversation started.
Yeah, that's great. It's starting a conversation and specifically making them aware of what they're going to miss out on. What is the thing
Hmm.
that they do not have that's keeping them from being successful? And a huge part of that is exactly what you do, which is
Yeah,
so cool.
so good. And I love how you also said that like you're showing them, what they're potentially missing out on. But the flip side of that is a good pitch, even if it's just a DM pitch, should show them the opportunity that's possible for them and then show them where they're currently at. And that bridges the gap of like, hey, here's what you're going to miss out on if you don't do this, but I'm the bridge, right? So if you want
Yeah.
to have this happen, I'm the bridge that's going to help you get from here to there, which is so cool. So I'm so glad that
Hmm.
that's working out for you well. So my second question to back off of these people is, so who are these people? You said they're trainers, they're agents. Talk about their income. Like, because for most people, most creatives would think, well, those people won't have any money to pay me. Why would I ever want to work with
Hmm.
them? But your average ticket is, you're working with these people on a retainer basis, correct?
Yeah.
And what's like, just throw out a random number, like what's like the average retainer like on an ongoing monthly basis for you for one of these clients? And like, what's the work that you're giving them, in
Yeah.
return?
I feel like the most common one is starting around like 500 to 1,000, and just kind of breaking down what their strategy looks like right now and where they want to get to in their engagement right now and how we can kind of fix that.
Yeah.
But I mean, for like an example, I can kind of say right now is my one online trainer, he posts on Shorts, TikToks, Facebook, Instagram. His strategy is insane. So his content, he needs a lot of content to kind of keep him busy for a month. So every month we kind of get together. I offer him about, I think it's like 30 to 35 UGC style videos,
Wow.
of just scripts kind of targeting his ideal client. For example, like his a client is tailored to like women.
Yep.
So what I kind of proposed to him was like, you probably shouldn't be posting you benching 315 for reps because most women probably don't want to see that.
Hmm.
And just helping him kind of figure out what kind of content performs well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay,
love
so you're
that.
doing like 500 to $1,000. You've got these people on retainers. So I mean, you get like, let's say you had it at $500. You only need like, 10 of those clients. You're making 60 grand a year, or whatever.
Mhm.
And you can see how that math scales. So you're giving them in return UGC photo and video for them to use all across all their platforms. So again, to the person, Matt, that would say to you, but because I'm so obsessed with this conversation because I think it's such a great corner of the industry that almost nobody's working in right now. Like the boom of how many people became online fitness trainers through COVID, became
Yeah.
real estate agents through COVID, became whatever online whatever. Anytime there's a personal brand that somehow makes money off of having a good social presence, there's a huge opportunity for us creatives to
Mhm.
fulfill their social calendars
Yeah.
every month like you're doing. So talk to me more about this person because so many people would go, well, they don't make, I don't know if they would have money to pay me or they're only paying me like $100 a month or whatever. Like, I don't think it's worth it. You're getting paid $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month because we've talked
Yeah.
about it. So are you saying like, okay, when you think about your ideal client, you're looking for the right person. You talked about where you found them, word of mouth and stuff, but like what are the niches? So you said like fitness and real estate. So those are some niches. What are the income brackets you're looking for? Because I'm assuming someone who's like brand new and who isn't making money isn't going to want to
Yeah.
hire you yet. Or am I
Yeah.
wrong?
No, you're completely right. Yeah. I feel like, I mean, the people I like working with, already have somewhat of an established brand behind them too in
Yeah.
their personal brand. But again, I like working with people that there's room to grow with them too. And I love seeing like the possibilities in what's the word? You can just grow with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
There's
Love that.
yeah.
Yeah. Like there's
Um,
Yeah.
opportunity there, right? Which is
Right.
cool.
Yeah,
And
that's what I
seeing
was trying to say.
seeing
There's
the
so much more
movement.
opportunity
Yeah.
when you start working with them, and you keep growing and working with them every month. And yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That's
Okay,
cool.
so I think the question that a lot of people think about when they're looking to work with people like this, and I want to pick your brain on this. I would love to know how you prospect out clients. A lot of people would go through social media, they try and find like an online fitness trainer, for example, in their area that they could work with. But if they find them and they already have good content, they'd be like, they're not going to hire me. They've already got good content. Is that somebody you would turn away from, or is that somebody you would still pitch? And why?
I 100% I'd still pitch,
And why
because
would you
I feel
pitch?
like I said before, like it takes so much time and effort to stay consistent and put in good content month
Preach.
by month. Um, so just taking a load off their plate helps them so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so
That's
good. That
really
is
good.
literally the answer I was hoping you would say. And that's what we talk about in Creativ Rise all the time, right? Just because a brand has good content does not mean that they will never hire you. The fact they
Mhm.
have good content means they already put money into it, and it means that they're already probably having a hard time keeping up. Because the second, and Matt, you know this, the second a brand or a personal brand starts putting out good content, the bar is now set at a higher level. They can't drop, right? They
Yeah.
can only really go up from there. So, guys, if
Mhm.
you're listening to the show and you're going, I want to work with brands, but I can't find brands because every brand around me seems to have good content. You just heard Matt say, pitch the brands that have good content, because they're already the brands that put money into their content. And as Matt said, it takes so much time. If you can be a vessel to help them save time, it's brilliant. So why don't we talk about that, Matt? You're a problem solver, as we stated at the beginning of this podcast. You now know, because you went through the mastermind. We talked about this a ton on the mastermind. You don't just sell photos. You're selling a lot more than selling photos. You're selling them their time back.
Solution.
You know, what are some of the other ways that you, being a personal brand photographer, what are some of the other solutions that you're actually selling? And then how do you think about that? And how would you encourage anybody listening to figure out what they're actually selling when they look at their own services?
Can you repeat that actually?
Yeah, so like if you're thinking about what you're selling, you know, you're saying, "Oh, I'm showing up and filling your whole social calendar for the month." You're not just
Yeah.
selling them photos and videos. You're selling them
No.
getting their time back. You know, you're selling
Mhm.
them getting speed to be able to post, right? You're selling them a full month's content. Like, is there anything else that you would rope in there as part of the solution that most people don't think about? Because most people just think, "Oh, I'm only selling photos." But the reality is you're selling a lot more than photos. Like, the
Yeah.
problem is a lot deeper than that, right? So how do you think about
Mhm.
that?
I feel like I like breaking it down to everything, like down to their strategy, and helping them navigate what to post and when to post it, and kind of creating more opportunities with their content. Um,
Yeah.
and then along with like just the photos and the videos and the UGC content, um, just kind of, yeah, I don't know where I'm kind of going with that. I
Yeah,
can't
no,
Oh,
quite
yeah,
that's so
you're
good.
talking about how it's more than just photos, right? There's
Yeah.
strategy to it. You're
You offer a
saving them
lot.
time. You're giving them energy back. You're giving them mental energy where they don't have to necessarily think about even like what the content's going to be, because you said you show up and
Mhm.
help them script stuff. Like, brilliant.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Point I was trying to make is that, like, guys, if you are listening to the show, you're so much more than a creative just selling photos or video. You're selling so many solutions wrapped up in an offer to so many problems that our clients have, right? Which is so cool.
Yeah. So, Matt, talk to us. You came in doing $15,000. You then are leaving the year going $85,000. And then the trajectory is just keep going up. You're hitting like 13K months. It's awesome.
Mhm.
So,
Actually, you just had a even higher month than that,
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
you,
talk-
Matt?
Yeah, I'm ending January this month with over 15K booked in work.
Which is
amazing.
epic.
That's
That's
so cool.
cool.
So,
It's
How does that
insane.
feel, by the way? Just before we move on, how does it feel to book
Yeah.
$15,000 in a month?
It's crazy. It's so weird to think about, because I was in such a different place last year at this time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I was
last
going to
year-
say last year, so as you're about to go into the mastermind, things like that, I'm sure that you had a lot of fears around like, is this going to work for me? Did you feel that? Like,
Mhm.
what were some like the hesitations maybe you had going in, or fears
Into the
entering into this
mastermind,
type of community?
I think the investment into it was a big kind of hurdle. But I mean, you get that back within the first week.
Mm.
Um, and just creating the strong community with everyone, and the opportunities that come with everyone. Like, I've worked with people in the mastermind before us. I've worked with people in our small groups. When I went to Alberta, I met up with the guys in my group there, and
So
you just
cool.
create so many opportunities, and everyone sharing their wins and the motivation that comes with it. That just keeps you going.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's like
cool.
fuel to the fire, which is so cool. So, what would you say to someone who maybe is like, they're nervous about the investment, they're on the fence, they're like, ooh, but I'm working this other job and I'm like using all my dollars. And like, what would you say to someone who's like nervous about that investment
Hmm.
piece?
There's so much value behind it too. Like I told Joey a little bit ago that it's a no-brainer. Um, but just do it. Like it's so worth it, and you're gonna be so happy with the end goal.
You heard it from Nike and Matt. Just do it. Just do it. I
There you
love
go.
that.
So, Matt, why don't you break down, like, you said the community, you said some of the stuff that you got. You already talked about the outreach templates, which are a bonus for anybody in the mastermind.
Hmm.
Those are the things that are helping you pitch right now, which is super cool. Break down, like, what else other than the community that was in the mastermind was just really pivotal for you? Like, what really helped you go from 15K to making 80K this year?
I think the biggest one was just more clarity in the direction when we got on that weekly call every week,
Mm.
sorry.
Mm.
And then even the one-on-one meeting with you guys too. That was so pivotal in my kind of growth in business. And then like the stuff you're adding now, like the pricing calculator, is just mind blowing and helps everyone so much.
Mm.
And just the value that you get with every course in the book that you get, and it's crazy how much value there is.
So glad, man.
Awesome.
I'm so glad that it was so helpful for you. Well, hey, why don't we wrap on up? We got 2 final questions for you. So great to chat. Like your story of going from 15K, like that's what we should call
so
the podcast.
inspirational.
15K in 2021 to 15K in January. Like that's if you think
That
about
is
that,
good.
that's freaking epic, bro. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
So excited for you. So excited for the future of your business. Where can people find you if they want to follow along and connect with you?
Yeah, my Instagram is probably my main source of where I'm active the most. Matt Ortlieb Photography.
Yeah.
My website, Matt Ortlieb Photography as well, which is under construction right now. And then along the real estate side, it's kind of Ortlieb Media, everything.
Okay, cool.
And then that's pretty much it for now.
Cool. So you heard it there, guys. And then last question, this is the signature show of the question. You know this. Why should somebody care enough about breaking the creative struggle in their own lives? Like, why is it worth it? To you, in your own words, why was it worth it to break the creative struggle in your own life, and why should somebody else go for it?
Creative freedom. You get to do what you enjoy every single day. I wake up enjoying what I do. And I look forward to it the next morning and the next morning after that. And just the world of different opportunities and the places it takes me.
Love it.
Dude, that's such a great
so
answer.
good.
That's exactly why Creativ Rise exists, is
Yeah.
to help people just like you, and you know this, get paid to do what they love and succeed while doing it. Like that is, you basically just said the Creativ Rise like slogan and,
Yeah.
and like total brand why in your own words, which is a beautiful thing. So, hey man, thanks for being on the show. So cool to hear about your story. Thanks for sharing it with everybody. And can't wait to see what you do in 2023. Let's go, baby. 6-figure year coming up.
Yeah, let's go. I'm so excited. Thank you guys.
What an incredible episode with Matt. He's such a humble, nice guy. You guys go follow him, send him a message, tell him thank you for sharing his story because it's so inspirational, because I know there's so many people out there who have their creative business as like a side hustle. Or maybe it's full-time, but it's like not making the income that they were hoping and that they need to be able to live that creative freedom that he's talking about. And so I know a lot of you guys have been interested in the mastermind. We get messages all the time from people being like, I want in, and I'm just afraid of the investment. I'm afraid of spending the money on myself. And I want to tell you, there's people that don't jump in and then they wait 2 rounds and they jump in again and they have so much regret because they're like, man, I wish I would have joined earlier because look what it's done for my income. I think if you would ask Matt, would you have rather waited 1 more year to save up for the mastermind? Would you do it? He'd say absolutely
And quadruple your income. You got to wait a year to quadruple your income.
Exactly. Absolutely not. So the question I want you to ask, if you are interested in the mastermind, but you are concerned about spending money on yourself, is can you afford to stay in the same spot you are now financially? Can you afford to go through 2023 in the same spot, or do you want to grow? It might be kind of scary to make that leap, but we know so many people that have done that leap and have never regretted it. And they actually live out so much in that financial freedom after they've made that quick decision. So it's scary, but it can be a quick decision, and we are there to support you on the other side. So if you want to apply, you know where to go. Creativrise.com, submit that no commitment application. we're happy to jump on a call with you and talk about any questions you may have. So head on over to that application.
Yeah, and other than that, guys, you heard Matt mention the pricing calculator, which is a completely free resource to everybody. You do not have to be in the mastermind to take advantage of that. All you got to do is go to creativrise.com/pricing calculator, and you can use the pricing calculator, which is one of my favorite things we've ever built here at Creativ Rise, and it's completely free. And as Matt said, it's helped so much. So make sure you go do that. Matt, again, thank you for being on the show today. So cool to hear your story of going from 15K to 15K in 1 month, 15K in 2021 to 15K in January of 2023, which is just epic. So I'm like
cool.
trying to get all my years right because I'm like, it's so all over the place. But such a cool story. So guys, thanks for listening to the show. If today's episode was super cool, impacted you in any way, hit up Matt for sure, encourage him, but also leave us a 5-star written review. We would so appreciate that because that's how the show gets out, and it only takes about 2 seconds. So thank you very much. We'll see you on next week's episode.